Hey there, folks. Welcome to our wild ride through Madagascar, the island that's gonna blow your mind. Imagine a place where nature went crazy, tossing together animals you've never seen before, landscapes that look like they're from another planet, and people with a culture that's totally unique. That's Madagascar for you. Sitting off the coast of Africa, this mega island is like nowhere else on Earth. We're talking lemurs bouncing through rainforests, chameleons changing colors faster than a traffic light, and trees that look like they've been planted upside down. But Madagascar isn't just about its crazy wildlife. It's got a history that'll make your head spin and a culture that's as rich as grandma's apple pie. So buckle up, because in the next 25 minutes, we're gonna dive deep into this island nation. From its jaw-dropping landscapes to its fascinating people, from its turbulent past to its hopes for the future, we're covering it all. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be itching to book a flight to Madagascar faster than you can say, "I like to move it." Move it. Ready to explore the 8th continent? Let's get this show on the road. 1. Geography and climate, where Mother Nature got creative. All right, folks, let's dive into the nuts and bolts of Madagascar's layout. This island is no small potatoes. We're talking about the 4th largest island in the world. It's so big, some folks call it the 8th continent. Picture this. You're cruising down the east coast of Africa, and suddenly, bam, there's Madagascar, chilling in the Indian Ocean like it's no big deal. It's roughly the size of Texas, or if you're not from the Lone Star State, think 2 Oregons stacked on top of each other. Yeah, it's that massive. Let's talk about terrain. Madagascar's got more variety than a box of assorted donuts. In the middle, you've got the Central Highlands. These bad boys are like a spine running down the island, with peaks that'll make you break a sweat just looking at them. Head to the coasts, and you'll find plains flatter than a pancake. Perfect for kicking back and soaking up some rays. But wait, there's more. The island's rocking both lush rainforests that'll make you feel like Tarzan and dry forests that look like they belong in the Wild West. Weather, a mixed bag of tricks. When it comes to climate, Madagascar's playing all the hits. Along the coast, it's a tropical paradise central. We're talking hot and humid, like Florida's cousin. Venture inland, and things cool off a bit. The highlands have a temperate vibe that might remind you of a nice spring day back home. Down south, it's drier than a stand-up comedian's sense of humor. You might even spot some cacti thinking they're in Arizona. Hold on to your hats. Here's a pro tip. If you're planning a trip between November and April, pack your raincoat and maybe a helmet. That's cyclone season, and Mother Nature likes to throw some wild parties during this time. We're talking wind and rain that'll make your average thunderstorm look like a sprinkler system. So there you have it, folks. Madagascar's geography and climate in a nutshell. From mountains to beaches, rainforests to deserts, this island's got it all. It's like Mother Nature couldn't make up her mind, so she just said, let's do everything. And you know what? We're not complaining. 2. Nature and biodiversity, where the wild things are. All right, nature lovers, buckle up because Madagascar is about to blow your mind. This island isn't just off the charts. It's playing a whole different game when it comes to wildlife. We're talking about a place that's like Mother Nature's own private laboratory. Unique? That's an understatement. Get this. Over 90% of the critters and plants you'll find in Madagascar don't exist anywhere else on the planet. That's right. Nowhere. It's like evolution went to town and forgot to invite the rest of the world to the party. Let's talk greenery. And no, we're not just talking about your average houseplants. Baobab trees. Picture a tree that looks like it's been planted upside down, with a trunk so thick you'd need a whole football team to hug it. That's a baobab for ya. Orchids galore. Madagascar's got over 1,000 species of orchids. That's enough to make any flower shop green with envy. Rainforest bonanza. The rainforests here are packed with more plant species than you can shake a stick at. But don't, because, conservation and all that. Critter Corner. The real stars of the show. Now let's get to the good stuff. The animals that make Madagascar famous. Lemurs. These guys are the island's VIPs, very important primates. With over 100 species, from the tiny mouse lemur to the indri, which sounds like a squeaky toy, lemurs are Madagascar's claim to fame. The fossa. No, not that Fosse from Chicago. This fossa is Madagascar's top predator. Think of it as a cat-mongoose hybrid that decided to be awesome. Chameleons. These color-changing champs come in all sizes, from smaller than your thumbnail to holy moly, that's a big lizard. Birds of a feather. Madagascar's got some birds that'll make your head spin. Ever heard of the elephant bird? It was like an ostrich on steroids. Too bad it's extinct now. The sad truth, I hate to be a buzzkill, but we gotta talk about the elephant bird in the room. A lot of these amazing creatures are in trouble. Deforestation and climate change are giving Madagascar's unique ecosystem a run for its money. It's like watching your favorite TV show get canceled. So, we gotta do something. The good news? People are waking up to how special this place is. There are national parks, research centers, and conservation projects popping up faster than you can say ring-tailed lemur. It's like a real-life Captain Planet situation, and everyone's invited to join the team. So there you have it, folks. Madagascar's nature scene in all its wild and wacky glory. It's a place where the plants and animals look like they've stepped out of a Dr. Seuss book, and every day is like a nature documentary come to life. Just remember, look but don't touch. We want to keep this biological wonderland rockin' for generations to come. 3. History, a wild ride through time. Alright, history buffs, strap in. We're about to take a whirlwind tour of Madagascar's past, and let me tell you, it's one heck of a story. Our story begins around 88 million years ago, when Madagascar broke away from India, becoming isolated from other landmasses. This isolation led to the evolution of unique plant and animal species found nowhere else on Earth. Way back in the day, we're talking 1st century AD, some brave souls from Southeast Asia said, "You know what? Let's paddle across the Indian Ocean." And boom, Madagascar got its first human residents. These Austronesian pioneers brought their rice-growing skills and outrigger canoes. Later on, some folks from Africa decided to join the party, adding their own flavor to the mix. Over the next 1,000 years, more settlers arrived from Africa and Middle East, creating a melting pot of cultures and traditions. In the 16th century, European contact began. Portuguese explorer Diogo Dias was the first to sight the island in 1500. By the late 17th century, Madagascar had become a haven for pirates, including the infamous Captain Kidd. In 1817, the Merina Kingdom, under King Radama I, began unifying the island. Radama I formed alliances with the British, modernizing his military and establishing a written language for Malagasy. However, this period of independence was short-lived. The French came in 1896 and said, "This looks nice, we'll take it." Classic colonialism, am I right? The French took over faster than you can say croissant. They stuck around for about 64 years, which is longer than most Hollywood marriages. In 1960, Madagascar finally broke free from French rule. It was like their own 4th of July, but with more lemurs and less fireworks. The Malagasy people were like, "Thanks for the baguettes, but we've got this from here." They set up their own government and started calling their own shots. The country's first president was Philibert Tsiranana. Modern times, it's complicated. Since independence, Madagascar's been on a political roller coaster that would make Six Flags jealous. We're talking coups, contested elections, and more drama than a soap opera marathon. In 2009, they had a crisis that made the US government shutdowns look like a picnic. But hey, they're working on it. Democracy's a work in progress, folks. So there you have it, Madagascar's history in a nutshell. From intrepid seafarers to kingdom builders, from colonial subjects to independent nation, these folks have been through more ups and downs than a yo-yo competition. It just goes to show, you can't keep a good island down. Remember, this is the Reader's Digest version. There's enough material here to keep history nerds buzzing for years. So next time someone asks you about Madagascar's past, you can hit them with the highlights and sound like a real smarty pant. 4. Culture and people? A melting pot with extra spice. Alright folks, let's dive into the wild world of Malagasy culture. Buckle up, cause this ride's got more flavor than a 5-alarm chili. First things first, Madagascar's got about 27 million people. That's like cramming the entire population of Texas onto an island. And boy is it a mixed bag. You've got the Marina folks holding it down in the Central Highlands. The Betsimisaraka are chilling on the East Coast. And don't forget the Betsileo, Tsimihedi, and a whole bunch of other groups with names that'll twist your tongue. It's like someone took a bunch of different cultures, tossed them in a blender, and hit puree. The result? Pure awesomeness. When it comes to languages, Madagascar's playing doubles. Malagasy. This is the home team. It's the lingo that unites the island, even if some folks speak it with more twang than others. French. Thanks to their colonial hangover, French is still kicking around. It's like that exchange student who came for a semester and decided to stay forever. Religion in Madagascar is like a buffet. There's something for everyone. Christianity's got a strong following, with both Catholics and Protestants in the mix. But hold up, traditional beliefs are still going strong. We're talking ancestor worship and some seriously cool rituals. It's like they found a way to have their spiritual cake and eat it too. Artsy-fartsy, but in a cool way. Malagasy folks don't just live life, they make it beautiful. Wood carving. These artists can turn a chunk of wood into something so pretty, it'll make your IKEA furniture cry. Textile weaving. Their fabrics have patterns that'll make your head spin, in a good way. Music and dance. Ever heard of Salagy? It's like they took some sick beats, mixed in some African and Asian vibes, and created a party in musical form. Now, let's talk grub. Malagasy cuisine is where it's at. Rice is king. Seriously, they eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's like the Elvis of their food world. The rest of their menu is a mashup of Southeast Asian and African flavors. Imagine if your taste buds went on a world tour. The Malagasy mindset. Here's the deal. Malagasy people have this thing called fihavanana. It's all about kinship, solidarity, and being a decent human being. Think of it as their version of Southern hospitality, but with more tropical vibes. So there you have it, folks. A whirlwind tour of Madagascar's culture and people. It's a place where ancient traditions high-five modern life, where every meal is a mini vacation for your taste buds, and where the music makes your feet move whether you want them to or not. These folks have taken bits and pieces from all over the world and created something totally unique. It's like they looked at the melting pot idea and said, "Hold my Ranavola Malagasy tea, we're gonna spice this up." 5. Military. Small but scrappy. Alright folks, let's talk about Madagascar's fighting force. Now we're not exactly dealing with a military superpower here, but they've got enough moxie to keep things interesting. Madagascar's military is like a mini version of the big leagues. They've got an army, for when things get real on the ground, a navy because, duh, they're an island, an air force, it's more like an air trickle, but it counts. And the gendarmerie, think of them as the tough cousins of the police force. All in all, we're looking at about 13,500 active personnel. That's like a small town deciding to suit up and defend an entire country. Hardware? More like software. When it comes to military equipment, Madagascar isn't exactly rolling in the latest and greatest. Their gear is mostly hand-me-downs from countries like France and the good old US of A. We're talking stuff that might have been cutting edge back when Macarena was topping the charts. It's like they're bringing a knife to a gunfight, except the knife is actually a spork. Peacekeeping. Madagascar's time to shine. Here's where our Malagasy friends get to strut their stuff on the world stage. They've been sending troops on UN peacekeeping missions. It's like they're saying, we might not have the fanciest toys, but we've got heart, darn it. Budget blues. Let's talk money, honey. Madagascar's military budget is tighter than your uncle's belt after Thanksgiving dinner. They're working with what they've got, which isn't much. It's like trying to run a 5-star restaurant on a fast food budget. The big picture. So, what's the deal with Madagascar's military? Here's the scoop. They're not about to take over the world anytime soon, but they're doing their best to keep their island safe and lend a hand where they can. It's like they're the scrappy underdog in a sports movie. They might not win the championship, but they've got spirit. 6. Conclusion. Madagascar, the island that keeps on giving. All right, folks, we've taken one heck of a ride through Madagascar. And boy, what a trip it's been. Let's break it down one last time. We've seen landscapes that'll make your jaw drop faster than a hot potato. From those funky upside-down baobab trees to beaches that'll make the Caribbean jealous, Madagascar's got it all. It's like Mother Nature went all out and said, watch this. Then there's the wildlife. Holy moly, lemurs bouncing around like they're on trampolines, chameleons playing hide-and-seek like world champs, and plants that look like they're straight out of a sci-fi movie. It's like Noah's Ark crashed into Jurassic Park and decided to throw a party. We've time-traveled through Madagascar's history, from ancient seafarers to French colonizers, and now to a nation finding its own groove. It's been a wild ride, bumpier than a roller coaster built by a rookie, but these folks keep on trucking. And the people? Man, talk about a melting pot that'd make New York City look bland. With their mix of Asian and African roots, unique language, and a culture that's more colorful than a tie-dye convention, the Malagasy people are one of a kind. Sure, Madagascar's got its challenges. The environment's taking more hits than a punching bag, and the economy's shakier than a rookie waitress with a tray full of drinks. But here's the thing. This island and its people, they're tough as nails and resilient as a rubber band. So what's the takeaway? Madagascar isn't just some random island off the coast of Africa. It's a world unto itself, a place where every day is an adventure, every meal is a surprise, and every person has a story that'll knock your socks off. Whether you're a nature nut, a history buff, a culture vulture, or just someone looking for the next big thing, Madagascar's got your number. It's the ultimate underdog story, the hidden gem that's just waiting to be discovered. So, next time someone asks you about Madagascar, you can say, "Oh, you mean that awesome island where lemurs rule, trees grow upside down, and every day is like a real-life National Geographic special? Yeah, I know a thing or two about that place. And who knows? Maybe one day you'll find yourself on a plane, headed to this crazy, beautiful, one-of-a-kind island. Just remember to pack your sense of adventure, an open mind, and maybe some bug spray. Trust me, you're gonna need 'em all." Madagascar. It's not just an island, it's a whole world of wonder. And folks, that's no exaggeration.